The past decade has been really good to us. We've seen the evolution of normal ICE rigs. We've seen the evolution of normal internal combustion engines. We got state-of-the-art hybrids and even fully electric vehicles. Yeah, the last 10 years have been totally transformative in the automotive industry, and we've seen things evolve faster than any previous decade. So starting off with 2010, I'm gonna share my favorite and most influential car of that year, and then I'm gonna go to 2011, 2012, all the way up until 2019. It's great to see you guys again. Let's go. Before the Raptor, which its nameplate came from this awesome bird of prey, and the one and only dinosaur called the Velociraptor, there wasn't really anything in Ford's arsenal that could rip on land, plow through water, and fly through the air. Yeah, this thing was pretty much a desert racing bandit, and Ford's special vehicles team gave us something that we never really knew we needed, which was a versatile, factory-built off-road pseudo racing truck that could take our off-road recreation to the next level, and then be able to drive it to work on Monday without taking out a second mortgage on the house. The Ford Raptor was a great way to kick up some dirt as we started off this new decade, and as we've seen through the years, this thing's been an extremely profitable and well-received platform from Ford. Now real quick, for any of these picks for any of these years, if you don't agree with me, please just let me know down in the comments what you would pick for the most influential car for that year. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. Because for 2011, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna switch gears a lot. Because General Motors really tried with the Chevy Volt. This extremely sophisticated plug-and-play hybrid, which operates on just its electric battery until it's almost depleted, and then the little 1.4-liter engine kicks in to help out, was a major success. And that's why I think it's the best car that came out in 2011, because of what it represented and what it became. First, it represented this leap into mainstream hybrid commuting, and it became the world's all-time best-selling plug-in hybrid car ever. Today, we know how far hybrid technology has come, but almost a decade ago, it was a foreign concept. So we gotta give a nod to GM and this little Chevy Volt for helping pave the way to the future of automobile motoring. Well, we were just talking about hybrid technology, and then Tesla entered the chat. Because just a year later in 2012, this all-electric 5-door sedan had out-of-this-world performance. Yeah, those boys in Silicon Valley, the ones that bolted an electric drivetrain to about 2,250 Lotus Elises, which were way too much fun to drive. Yeah, although that thing was a cool initial offering, it was extremely impractical, super low production, and only a few people that knew the difference ever got a taste. While this Tesla Model S was launched to show the world that an electric car can be the best car in the world. And the amount of tech that was embedded in this thing was really a step forward in the automotive industry. And every single auto manufacturer took notice, with the standout centerpiece being the simplicity of the interior and this humongous 17-inch screen that looked a lot like a giant iPhone. And it pretty much controlled the whole car. As they say, a rising tide lifts all boats. And because of the Tesla Model S, whether you like it or not, we have all benefited, because their relentless determination has put the EVs in the mainstream. That looks like fun. Real quick, the ideal question of the day. What is your favorite car of the past decade? It can be literally anything. Just comment down below the make, the model, and the year. Any car built from 2010 all the way up till 2019. Let's go. The Toyota AE86 is the iconic Japanese 80s drift missile, perfectly set up to go sideways with its front engine, rear-wheel drive configuration. Yet for over 20 years, there wasn't really a replacement sports car in Toyota's lineup that was as much fun as the legendary AE86. Until 2013, with the Toyota FRS, the front engine, rear-wheel drive that paid tribute to its older brother. With its low center of gravity and an optional but highly recommended 6-speed manual transmission, this car's playful demeanor made up for decades of lost fun. And because it only had 200 horsepower, the little sports car was a ball of fun that could be pushed to its limits. Yeah, it literally was the perfect addition to the Toyota lineup, filling a huge hole for JDM fans looking for an inexpensive and reliable way to enjoy pure motoring bliss. Well, let's see here. You had the Ferrari 288 GTO, then the legendary F40, followed by the F50, and then, of course, the Enzo. But Ferrari was itching to elevate the game once again. So they created a hypercar with a screaming 789 horsepower V12, coupled with an oil-cooled 161 horsepower electric motor, which makes a total of 950 horsepower. And remember guys, this is when the 903 horsepower McLaren P1 came out, and the 887 horsepower Porsche 918 Spyder came out as well. So Ferrari had to bring its best stuff, which it always does. And the Ferrari LaFerrari is so magnificent, the Italian automaker decided to call it the Ferrari. If Ferrari ever had to choose a golden child, this one would probably be it. Dodge has just never really surprised us with any of its crazy shenanigans. And the Dodge Hellcat became the most powerful sedan with its supercharged and intercooled 707 horsepower V8. Yeah, it's a simple recipe really, but it yields out of this world results. Heck, the supercharger on this thing takes 80 horsepower just to run, and 0 to 60 comes in a blistering 3.6 seconds. So not only is it the most powerful production sedan ever built, but it's the fastest as well, with a top speed of over 200 miles per hour. Now, if you can keep your foot off the go pedal, it's not really that scary of a cat at all. But dip a little too much into the gas and you'll do burnouts for days. One word, Voodoo V8. Ah, crap, that was 2 words. But anyways, this 5.2 liter, 526 horsepower engine sounds like you're being followed by an army shooting frantically. Yeah, that sounds nothing like what we're used to with American muscle V8s. And the flat plane crankshaft is what makes all the magic happen. But let's not forget where these came from. My favorite 65 Ford GT350 produced by Shelby America. And those were race cars for the road. And the new Shelby GT350R followed in its footsteps, because they really are just track cars with a license plate slapped on them. And they're ready to put a smile on your face time and time again. I mean, it won Road and Track 2016 Performance Car of the Year, and still today is one of, if not the best all-around Mustangs ever built. Oh, what could have been a 505 horsepower rear-wheel drive sedan from Italy. When the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio hit the streets, we had all been looking forward to this exact setup for years. And guess what? It was good, like really good. With a 2.9 liter twin-turbo 6-cylinder engine inspired by Ferrari technology, mated to a 6-speed manual transmission, and drop-dead gorgeous looks, what's not to like? Well, with all this Italian trick technology thrown at it, this high-performance super sedan came with its faults, and reliability was one of the main ones. And although they've proven to be a bit needy, the fact Italy came out with this package more than makes up for it. Let me just throw some stats at you and let them sink in for a second. A quad turbocharged W16 engine pumps out 1,479 horsepower, a 0 to 60 time of just 2.5 seconds, and a $3 million price tag to own this hypercar slayer. And you're probably asking yourself, how did this thing make it on the list? Well, I'll tell you how. It hit 304.77 miles per hour, making it the fastest production car in the world. And if that's not impressive enough, 2-time Indy 500 champ Juan Pablo Montoya set the quickest time for a production car to go from 0 to 249 miles per hour back to 0 in just 41.96 seconds. Just insanity. And a great starting point to see where performance goes in this next decade. But we're not done yet. It's the McLaren that stock can shoot flames. But it's so much more than that, because the 600 LT is probably the best McLaren ever built, considering they built some pretty highly regarded cars like the McLaren Senna and the legendary McLaren F1. That is probably my boldest claim of this decade, but I'm gonna make it my top pick for 2019, especially when outfitted with the optional roof scoop. This long-tail McLaren is all about confidence-inspiring handling and a twin turbocharged 3.8-liter V8 ready to deliver a performance of a lifetime. And I get it, one of McLaren's biggest downfalls is the fact that they come out with a new model pretty much every single year. But the cars just keep getting better and better, and the McLaren 600 LT is the top dog of the Sport Series range and most fun to drive sports car recently released. So did you agree with all my picks? If not, let me know which years down in the comments and what car you would have picked instead. Oh, and check out which awesome cars are being killed off in 2020. Or check out what YouTube recommends you watch next. Oh, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. But either way, you can't lose. And as always, keep living that ideal lifestyle.